Hi guys! Wow, it's been a while since I've jumped on here and I definitely owe you all the update on my life and what's going on. If you don't have Pectus, Excavatum, or if you don't have POT syndrome, you probably don't want to watch this video because I'm going to make it a little detailed and it might be lengthy, so I apologize in advance. But to catch you up, so I hit my 6-month post-op surgery mark last month. And I went out to Phoenix. I got to visit with Dr. J, and she was very happy with how my bars looked, the position of them, and kind of how my chest is healing. I had a couple questions for her. Physically, the structure of the outside, not just how the x-ray looked on the inside, but I've noticed that one of my ribs has started to flare out a little bit more, so my left side flares out a little bit more than my right side, and she said that's totally normal. It happens often. It's just kind of how my sternum was made down in there. It just kind of twisted a little bit. But she said when we take the bars out in 2.5 years that she has a way where she can push it back in, essentially. She can do it all. So I'm very confident in her. My biggest question was just, is it okay? And she wasn't worried about it at all. I had told her that I was still having a little bit of aching in right down in the middle of my sternum and in my back, mostly when I sleep and wake up in the mornings. She told me to keep stretching, doing yoga. I'm trying to start exercising again and build my strength back up. But overall, my Pectus corrective surgery has been great and I'm doing really well from it. Here's the new part of Danielle's crazy life that I haven't gotten a chance to update you guys on yet. So about 2.5 months ago, I started having symptoms again like I had had previously, but in a way they were different. So I had a high heart rate when I stood up again. My average resting was 50 to 60 beats per minute, and when I stand up it goes from 100 to 130, 140 on a given day. And it was starting to freak me out again. I was nervous that something had happened with my bars or my chest caving back in, which was not the case at all. It wasn't related to Pectus at all, I found out. But I was exhausted. I mean, I still am. I'm fatigued very easily. I go to bed very early now, which I used to be a night owl. I can barely make it past 10 p.m. anymore. But I started seeing my cardiologist again here in St. Louis, and I started seeking doctors' opinions on why am I still feeling like this, what's wrong with me. Some people had questioned if I had POT syndrome. I had no clue what that was. And then I went to get an echocardiogram done, and as you Pectus warriors know, we have to do our standing up because we're typically not symptomatic lying down. So I got the echocardiogram done. I was at Barnes Jewish Hospital downtown in St. Louis, and I was fine during the lying down portion of it. I was lying down, and they probably took 20 minutes to do the lying down portion, and then they put an IV in me because when you stand up, they do the bubble study, and they basically agitate saline and push it through your IV, and that's how they see if the bubbles cross over, which would mean there's a hole in your heart or looking at the structure. Again, not clinical, just the best way I know how to explain it. So I had the nurse, the technician, and then a doctor, a cardiologist came into the room because I'm just a unique patient and it's fun to see something like me come in when you're a doctor. So the doctor comes in the room and we stand me up. 30 seconds go by, a minute goes by, and I start feeling terrible. I thought for sure I was gonna pass out the minute I stood up, but as I continued to stand longer, I felt so much worse. I started seeing black, my hearing was going out, and my mom was in the room at the time too, and she was like, it looked like you were like a sleeping ghost, but standing up. So I could hear the doctor faintly in the background saying, take her blood pressure, check it right now. And my blood pressure at the time was 69/27. For those of you that know, normal blood pressure is considered to be around 120/60, and I usually have low blood pressure, maybe 108/57, but 69/27 was crazy low for anyone. They quickly laid me back down, and I've learned that when someone is feeling like they're gonna pass out, faint, low blood pressure, high heart rate, the best thing you could do to make sure they don't pass out or to get them feeling better is lie them completely on their back and put their legs up above their head. So kind of elevate it, hold their legs up, and get that blood rushing back to their head and their heart. So after about 10 minutes, I started feeling better. And at that time, the cardiologist was like, has anyone asked you or told you about POTS syndrome? And I said, no, I mean, not thoroughly. I've had people ask if I have it or suggest I may have it, but I didn't know much about it. So that's, after she said that, after that episode happened, we called Dr. J and said, hey, when we come out and see you in May, can we look at these symptoms, or what do you think is going on here? And she got me in touch with Dr. Goodman at Mayo Clinic. He is a neurologist that focuses and specializes in POTS. So a lot of his patients he sees have POTS syndrome. If you're like me a couple months ago and you're like, what the hell is POTS syndrome? I can tell you. I have this fancy book Mayo Clinic gave me. So POTS syndrome stands for postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Basically, when I'm lying down, for me personally, I'm not symptomatic, but postural, so you hear the word postural. So it's all based on the position. Some people are symptomatic lying down, I've heard. I am only symptomatic really when I'm standing up or sitting up for a long period of time. So what happens for me with POTS syndrome is when I am standing up, all the blood is pulled down into my lower extremities. So my blood, I lose it from my heart, my head, everywhere, and it goes down into my legs and my feet. So my feet turn like this purplish blue color. I get swollen in the ankles and legs. And it's not until I lie down that the blood comes back up and I feel better. But when I'm standing up and that's happening and I'm having those symptoms, again, my heart rate is going up, my blood pressure is going down, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. I've also had weird sensitivity to lights and noise, which I know is gonna sound strange, but I notice it mostly when I'm driving a car. Scary, I know, but I'm very cautious about it, and I don't drive when I'm feeling like that. But I notice it more when maybe it's raining out and the car lights are super bright. It literally makes me want to pass out. I've never been so annoyed by anything in my life that I am with car lights when I'm driving and I'm having these symptoms. So car lights really bother me, bright lights, flashing lights too. I know some people have, like, when they get a text message or someone calls, it flashes like a strobe light on the cell phone. That really bothers me, unfortunately. So you never know when that could happen, or you can encounter that out in public, but that's happened some. And then noise, I just, for whatever it is, a loud TV sometimes will bother me. 10 people talking all at once in a room will really just agitate me and make me feel symptomatic and like I could pass out. And I know a lot of it has to do with anxiety, because the fear of passing out now is just in the back of my head, just because I've had so many episodes and I've had some really rough. Okay, sorry about that. My boyfriend called and it cut the other video off, but I'm back. So what I was saying is the fear of passing out is in the back of my head now, basically. When I have these, what I'm calling episodes, like I said, heart rate, blood pressure, but my body also starts to shake. Like I just get, I don't know if you call them tremors or what you call them, but I just get so tense and tight in my legs. It's like they just become stiff and they shake. And then for about 10 minutes, I would say on average, I just feel like straight crap. It's super uncomfortable, but my whole goal in that moment when I'm having those episodes is just to remember that I'm gonna be okay, that I cannot let my anxiety get the best of me, because that only makes everything worse. So my boyfriend and my parents and brother and just my support system has been so great about helping me stay calm in those moments and just breathing and just calming me down and getting me back to feeling normal, if that's such a thing for me. And then I'm usually good for a few days, and then it can happen again. Sometimes I go a week or two without it happening, but POTS is not curable, but it's manageable. I'm learning this with you guys. A lot of people I'm learning with Pectus also have POTS. Not everyone with Pectus has POTS, but I'm learning that somehow the two kind of go together. Hi guys. Well, the first part of this that you watched, I was feeling pretty good. It was a good day. That was yesterday, which was Friday, the 31st, and today is June the 1st. I had a pretty good day yesterday. I was, feeling pretty good when I recorded that video, and then last night I started not feeling good again, and unfortunately, when me and my boyfriend tried to go out to something called Country Days in my hometown, I didn't last 5 minutes before I started feeling really bad, like I was gonna pass out. My body started shaking and I just felt really sick and exhausted, and I had a full-blown episode which probably lasted for an hour this time. My hearing kept going in and out and it was really scary, but I slowly got back to normal and went to bed right after that. It just sucks though. That's the part about POTS, that it's unpredictable and it can ruin your plans and you just can't prepare for it. So I wanted to finish this video. Well, one, I got caught off yesterday because I got another phone call and it cut my video off, so I figured that was a good time to just stop it. And then today I was like, you know what, I want to show the real effects of it and kind of let you know that I'm just down for the count today. I'm exhausted, I'm weak, I'm really tired, and I had to cancel my plans tonight too, unfortunately, just because it takes me a while to recover when I have an episode. So we were supposed to go to my dad's concert tonight. He's a drummer, and we can't because I won't be able to make it and I'm not gonna risk it. So now Jared and I are gonna head back to St. Louis and just lay in bed the rest of the evening. So that's kind of what the last 24 hours have been like. You got to see it yesterday when I was having a good day and healthy, and then today is not so good. Better than last night though. I'm definitely feeling better. I got some good sleep. I slept on my pillow wedge to elevate my head, which is good to calm my autonomic nervous system. And I've been drinking a lot of liquid IV to get some electrolytes back in my body. So I just wanted to show you the difference. But that is my update since it's been a while. And if you guys have any questions, as always, I'm not clinical, but I'm here to hopefully help answer any of your questions from my own personal experience. All right, guys. Thank you. Bye.